Here. My name is Patrick Starling. I'm the Director of Sales Engineering at FactSet. For anyone who's not familiar with FactSet, we're a full-stack content analytics technology and services provider to both the buy and sell side. Feel free to stop by. We're in the back near the bar during the breaks, and we'd love to talk to you. Today, we're going to be talking about the journey to building true multi-vendor workflow solutions. You notice our lead-in was building the next-generation financial services firm. We feel that this is a strong part of it. So we're really excited about OpenFin and Finsample because we like to call those scaffold technologies versus containers. And the reason we call them that is because they let you scaffold out things and really build out a solution where you can put together multiple pieces where the sum is stronger than all the individual pieces combined. And in FactSet, we've had clients for years saying, I have FactSet on a lot of my users' desktops. There's a lot of other apps around it. How can I make FactSet work with all those other applications? So we think this stuff is killer. But there's a lot of challenges to building multi-product, multi-vendor, multi-component workflows. And so a couple things we've run into in the past is challenges with different user experiences and different GUIs. You have different underlying data and content, differences in symbology between applications, and of course, what's the willingness of a third party to participate in a federated solution. So at FactSet, we've been dealing with this challenge a lot for 40 years, and that's because we've built a lot of apps. We've acquired a number of apps. Some of you may be familiar with FactSet Directions, very 90s style. It was great in its day, but it was a single pane, and you couldn't do a lot at the same time, no multitasking. When we got into real time in the early 2000s, we built an application we called Marquee. It had components, it had blasts, and it had all that great stuff. And then people said, how are you going to bring those together? Because I don't want two apps on my user's desktop. So we went through a number of iterations, but the current version of it looks something like this. This is our FactSet web product. It's equivalent to our workstation that we've been deploying for years, and it's built on all the great web tech and JavaScript that we celebrate here at Fin.js, HTML5, Vue, React, WebSockets, all the fun buzzwords. And that, for us, supports 90,000 users today. We're in the middle of deploying 15,000 new users at Bank of America, and the underlying tech also supports millions of retail users through our digital solutions portals. We're in the process of reworking our whole trading platform and ecosystem to be based on web tech too. So today we have our portfolio management platform. We're reworking our OMS and EMS to be done in web tech. You'll be able to pass over modeled trades on the OpenFin bus, pass those over to your OEMS, and then stream all that back in real time. So that's something we're currently working on. We did it with our legacy apps. Now we're taking it to our trading ecosystem. So what are the lessons that we can share from having built lots of multi-component workflows over the years that we can all take away in this world of multi-vendor workflows? Well, it starts with a careful consideration of the who, the how, and the where. So when we talk about the who, it's what are the user types we're targeting? Are we talking about researchers? Are we talking about traders? Are we talking about PMs or risk analysts? They all have different apps they're used to and different user experiences that they expect. When we talk about the how, it's the UI and the UX. It's the content and context of passing around through those different things that users need to do their job, and also all of the underlying content that they need. And then for the where, what are we targeting? Are we talking a trader desktop with 20 monitors? Are we talking about PM on a mobile device, or people on laptops or tablets on the road? So we find scaffolds really exciting because they let all the factories that power all these apps that our users need, allows them to live in the cloud and be loosely coupled together on the desktop. So whether we're talking about content, or we're talking about analytics across your trades or your portfolios or the enterprise, or cognitive tools built to generate insights or actionable next steps for your users, workflow solutions and services, you don't have to bring those inside your four walls anymore. You can let them live out in the cloud, let people build the pieces you want, but use the scaffolds to build out the experiences for your users. And we liken that whole journey to building the Lego MILLENIUM Falcon. And if you say Legos, what do you mean by that? Well, if you have all these different services available to you that you can put together to build the solutions that you want, it's a lot like having a giant pile of Lego bricks. Assume there's some Lego fans in the room. And if you want to build the MILLENIUM Falcon, Lego would normally send you a beautiful instruction manual. But in the world that we're working in here, this is very new, very cutting edge stuff, so there are no instructions. So unless you're a master builder, how are you going to get to the MILLENIUM Falcon? Well, there's a journey to be gone on. And it starts with your devs and your BAs. They know the technology that you have in-house. They know where you want to go. But what you need are partners to bring along for the journey. So grab your scaffold of choice, whether you're a fan of OpenFin or ChartIQ or Raw Electron. They'll all give you a great place to start from. Grab a partner who can give you content, analytics, technology, and services that give you workflow solutions that you can start to work around. And if you're unfamiliar, if you're new to web tech, grab a partner who can take you on the digital transformation journey, like an Adaptive or a Giant Machines or a Scott Logic, who can help build those things for you, teach your teams how to use them, even build you complete solutions. Once you have that, let's gather those user stories. Look at how you can bootstrap your solutions, taking complete workflow chunks from someone like a FactSet, where you can then build your own IP around the sides. Do we all need to build new full quote views or new blotters? Or can you take things that have already been put together and have all the data plumbed into them and put your unique stuff around the outside? And then how can you take advantage of all the symbology and data concordance that you need? We have this, we make it available on our bus, and it's something that you can take advantage of in these types of solutions. Now, a couple quick demos I'm going to show off. The first one is actually a use case we've developed for OpenFin internally. This is for our support desk. And when I start playing this, you're going to see we launch a little app we call Quick Launch. Boop, pops up in the corner there. You'll actually see I'm running it on my desktop too, but we're going to use the video because of the Wi-Fi situation here. And this is actually based on electrons. So it's a little electron widget that's running. We have it plugged into our CRM search, so we can search for people like this Patrick Starling guy. And once we have him, we can actually blast his context over to the Quick Launch widget. So you'll see Patrick Starling right in there. Now, the cool thing is we've also built a URI handler behind the scenes so that we can take all of our web apps that we have, like our CRM and some of our legacy tools, and still pass things over to over the OpenFin bus to our Quick Launch widget. So we ran a URL there, we just dumped it into a browser. This little terminal is showing off the bus, came over, and now we have the user context here, and we can go on and do things like log on as that user, pull up their settings, and start to support them that much faster. Now here's a more client-centric use case that we put together. And what we're starting with is pulling up a news story. We're dropping in a URL, pulling it up in a browser, and then we're passing that over to what we call our named entity recognition service. So we're actually passing the news story over, parsing it through our NLP processing, passing out all of the different entities that exist and their symbols, and then we're sending the symbols on to FactSet. So we pass in this news story, and we know it's about Apple. It rates at the top, so we jump you right to Apple in FactSet, trying to get actionable insights on your user's desktop a little faster. Well, what if you want to do something that's not about the news? Let's do something. We have this fun thing we've called Random App. We're very creative. We paste in some text, like Elon Musk is the CEO of Tesla, pass that over to our service, so we can easily take that basic text, pull out Elon Musk, pull up his people information directly in FactSet as well. Let's put that together in a more interesting way. Let's go ahead and paste in something like talk to David Block about Microsoft. So we pass that in. We're actually going to pull up multiple insights from this. So that goes over to the named entity recognition service. And while it's running, the things that come out of it is we pull up David Block right in Symphony so we can start a chat with him. We know he's at Deutsche Bank, so we can actually pull up all of his ratings in FactSet and show you the history of all of his performance, and then we can jump you right to Microsoft, so as you start chatting with him, you have all the details you need about Microsoft right at your fingertips. So that's really fun. So we've gone through the demos. Let's wrap up. Two things. I'm going to talk about something we're going to be releasing in the next couple weeks. We're aiming before Christmas, and we call this our FactSet OpenFin Bootstrap Kit. So it's going to be a full version of FactSet, using the OpenFin container packaged up so it's easy for you to deploy if you're not already using these today. We're going to be making native use of the OpenFin container. We're going to expose our symbology and all of our existing context passing on the bus in an FDC3 compliant way. And we're also going to open source our fun little terminal monitor so you can see what's happening on the bus as we go. And this is really what we see as the heart of how we build with you next generation financial workflows. It starts with FactSet as the factory on the bottom right. With our content, the analytics, technology, and services, you can take our user experiences and put them on your users' desktops, whether it's our whole apps or chunks of them. You can then take the same data, put it in your data hub, data lake, data warehouse, build your own experiences on top of it. If you're building an experience for users, put it back on the desktop on a scaffold like OpenFin or Finsemble. And if you want the same data or services, take it as an API. And you can also bring your own data back into FactSet to enrich those experiences further. So I'm going to wrap up really quick. Bootstrap Kit before Christmas. Keep your eyes out on it. We think it's going to be really exciting. We're going to be releasing our whole trading ecosystem rebuilt on web tech. That's probably 3 to 6 months out. And then we're always looking for partners. Please come by the booth, whether you're a client or you're another vendor. We'd love to talk to you about building next generation solutions. A couple parting thoughts. First thing, as was mentioned, a lot of our users use Excel. How do we make Excel work in this sort of ecosystem? How do we bring in voice, AI, and ML into a scaffold-based ecosystem? And then how do we take scaffolds out on our mobile devices, which are the things that tend to be in our hands all the time? Thank you very much. That's what we have for today.